Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, from the Washington Post. IRS to close more than 110 offices with taxpayer assistance centers. The plan is outlined in a letter from the U.S. General Services Administration that was obtained by the Washington Post. Now, I'm just going to pause real quick. Notice how they have to add that little caveat at the end with taxpayer assistance centers. I don't care. I don't care if they got a Kinko's in them. They're IRS offices. I don't care if they're shut down. Nobody likes the IRS, but the Washington Post needed to add that caveat because they're trying to make the IRS look good.
Yeah. I mean, look, I feel like, I don't want to steal lines from people, but the winning just doesn't stop. I'm not sick of it. I mean, this is because
I'm sorry. It's like Ron Paul must be sitting in a chair being like, "Yep."
I mean, literally 12 months ago, everyone was thinking, oh, there's going to be 87,000 new IRS agents, and man, they're going to be going after everybody. They're going to go after anybody that's made more than $600 for anything. So if you sold something for $1,000, you literally could be on the hook to the IRS for it. Like,
more likely than not.
Yeah, and that's honestly the IRS and the government more broadly should not be in the business of ruining American people's lives. Yeah. This idea that the IRS is some kind of service that people aren't terrified of dealing with is ridiculous. First of all. Second of all, there's people on the left love to make remarks like, well, they're going to go after the millionaires and the billionaires, but they're not going to do any of that. They're going to go after people that make less than $100,000 a year because those people don't have the money to fight to hire an actual lawyer, and that the IRS has admitted that they go after those people because that's actually where the money is.
So they say the Trump administration plans to shutter more than 110 IRS offices that have taxpayer assistance centers. The plan outlined in a Tuesday letter, blah, blah, blah. They're basically saying that when these leases are terminated or not renewed when they expire, their leases terminated or not renewed when they expire, according to a list included in the GSA's letter, it is unclear whether the assistance centers, which provide free in-person help for tax filers on an appointment basis, will relocate or simply close. Do you guys know that H&R Block is free?
Yep.
Yeah. I think what's the other one? It's H&R Block, HR Block, and the other one is
I should know this. This is a tax account.
You definitely should know.
The other one, they have TurboTax Online, which is pretty much free.
Yeah.
But the other.
I can't remember.
H&R Block's the big one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the other one.
But the government isn't helping anybody do anything. All they do is wait for you to file, and then if you don't get it right, they send you a letter saying, we know exactly how much you owed, and now you owe it to us with penalties. So the whole thing,
But they won't tell you how much.
Yeah, but they won't tell you how much you owe when you file.
Was it Jackson Hewitt?
Yeah.
Was that
Jackson
it?
Hewitt.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Yeah, so it's great.
I just want to mention, they have to provide a free basic service because of the way the law works. So in order to have these private special, interest corporations that do taxes, my understanding, I could be wrong, but the way the lobbying is, they lobby the government to make sure that tax filing is not automated and difficult. That's at least the story. Whatever it may be, you can get free tax assistance from any one of these companies. It's like your basic filing is free, automated software. They're trying to make it seem like Trump shuttering bloat, especially the IRS, is a bad thing. Lord help me, they are paving the way for a blowout in the midterms.
Yeah, they're paving the way for Republicans not to lose in 50 years. Because, what is more popular in polling than paying less taxes and the IRS not having more people to come after you when you owe pennies? You said it really good right there. It's like the people who have money, who have even just a couple $1,000,000, they know how to shelter it and put it into trust and put bank accounts offshore and all that stuff. Regular people, small business owners, those are the ones who the 87,000 IRS agents are trying to screw over and go after. So, I mean, this is amazing.
Just real quick, you guys. I have a list here from Pew. I don't want to see it. We're going to see it. Of the federal agencies that the Pew Research has dug into, it is many. Which agency do you believe has the highest unfavorability and the lowest favorability?
IRS.
Was it even a hard question? Should I have even asked?
Of course not.
Yeah.
Indeed, the National Park Service is the most favorable. And I got to admit, I like those guys.
Yeah, good guys.
And the post office, NASA, the CDC actually is largely favorable.
Wait, the post office is favorable?
I mean,
It is. Yeah.
interesting.
I know, that's surprising.
You know why? Because your mailman is actually nice, and that's the person that you deal with the most. When you go to the post office, especially like if you're in a smaller town or whatever, like the people that work in my post office are just wonderful people. I love them to death. I mean, so like that's the kind of the deal. People know those people, so they're like, oh, they're fine.
This poll is from last summer too, and it ain't even a contest. The lowest favorability is Department of Education, Department of Justice, and the IRS, and there's not a comparison. Department of Education and Department of Justice are -1 point. IRS is -12. Like, there's no question it is the least popular federal agency, and the media and the Democrats are like, please protect our IRS agents. Dude, midterms are going to come around, and every Republican is going to be like, Donald Trump shut down IRS offices. Who cares why he did? Democrats wanted to keep them open. Who cares why they wanted them open?
They were offering tax assistance centers, though. Don't you realize he's going to make it harder for you to have to pay less?
The only tax assistance I want is less taxes.
Exactly.
Best assistance. But they also offer different, like, voluntary, like, there's this thing called VITA, where there's a tax assistance center, not associated with the IRS directly, but there's different options out there that you can go and seek and find. So
we should close those too.
Those are private.
Ideally, yes. If you get rid of taxes,
He's gonna shut down the IRS completely. He said, and start the ERS, the External Revenue Service. Okay, get rid of the IRS, start the ERS, no taxes, income wise, and do tariffs. I think the people are excited about it.
What if this? Like, I mean, it's been a month. What if this literally is Trump's opening salvo to eventually getting rid of the IRS?
Let's go.
I mean, I don't think that you're going to have a significant complaint from the American people.
Nope.
You know, particularly if they can fund the government in other ways, right?
Well,
so they've cut the government enough so that way the money that they need to run the government can be raised in other ways. Most people won't notice and I'm not gonna predict. I'm just gonna say, if most people don't notice a significant change in their life, why would anyone complain?
I got to be honest too. Like, we don't need an IRS.
No.
Even if we keep taxes the way they are, the way it would work is taxes come out of your paycheck automatically, and you never think twice. That we don't need any of this stuff. Just an automated, like, when I pay my electric bill, it's automatic. I don't even think about it. You know what I mean? We don't need to have this bloated federal agency for any of this stuff. But I understand there's criminal enforcement they're going after, but, you know, let's just get rid of the IRS. And here's the thing. Donald Trump announced his gold card. You guys saw the story?
Yeah.
And it's crazy to me that no matter what Trump does, liberals and Democrats and the corporate press can't give him one good day. This was the narrative when they said that ISIS guy was an austere scholar.
Unreal.
I can't remember who said it. They were like, I think it was Nate Silver. He's like, they can't give Trump one good day. That's insane.
Yep.
Like, come on. Obviously, getting rid of these terrorists and cleaning up and winning wars is good. And so Donald Trump now offers up this gold card as compared to the green card, $5 million, and you can get residence in the U.S. Bang, just like that. We already have the EB-5 visa, which functions very similarly, but for a lot less. Trump said, imagine 1 million people, just 1 million, want to buy that. That's $5 trillion. You know, and right to the deficit. Elon pointed out at their cabinet meeting, they're paying $1 trillion on interest. And he's like, this is impossible. We're not making enough money to pay that down. If we don't Doge, then the country is functionally bankrupt. And the main issue is, you know, Ian's always talking about defaulting on the debt and how we should just do it. He's talking about, because if that were to happen, the entire SWIFT payment system, the global economic infrastructure collapses, and you get war very quickly. Mm-hmm. If the U.S. does not Doge and deal with the deficit, and let's just on the deficit is increasing with this budget resolution that just passed, meaning the deficit is how much more we spend than we have. So the debt is going to grow exponentially in this way. We have to get the deficit to zero and then start paying the debt down. If we can't, U.S. bonds and U.S. trade will be worth nothing.
Yep.
Petrodollar will be valueless. And then the OPEC nations and all these other countries trading in oil will stop trading with the United States. The United States ain't going away overnight. It will just be global economic crisis. Doge is not a question of what do we deserve or should we have it. Doge is a question of what do we have to do to make sure civilization doesn't collapse.
Isn't it crazy they can't give him one win? Like, they don't see that makes them totally discredited on everything. Like, they can't say one semi-nice thing about one thing that he's done. Because at least if they did that, then if they criticize him on other stuff, it'd make him seem a little bit more credible, but just everything's terrible, right? It just ruins their whole thing.
I can easily compliment Joe Biden. You know, he's very good at retaining classified documents for the purpose of making money.
Yeah.
See, it's a compliment.
He's a great businessman in
Yeah.
a sense.
Very smart.
Yeah, very
And he had the wherewithal to hire a ghostwriter who knew to delete evidence of his criminal wrongdoing.
Yep.
Very impressive.
Very smart. Very
Yeah,
smart.
that's right. See, a compliment.
I mean, the idea that that there are no ways to cut the deficit, which is exactly what the Democrats are essentially saying. They're saying everything that Doge does, they've got a complaint about it. It's this is wrong, that's bad, blah blah blah. The idea that there's no way to cut government waste, that every dollar is spent, in a responsible manner, it's obvious. That's obviously not true. So even if they don't say nice things about Donald Trump or Doge or whatever, if they just say true things, right? That doesn't have to have any kind of anything about an opinion. Just say true things. We do need to cut our deficit every year is too big. The national debt is absolutely out of hand, and it will bankrupt America, just like all the stuff that Tim laid out just a few minutes ago. We will have an actual World War III if we don't do something about our debt, because all the countries that have bought the U.S. debt, if we default on it, they're gonna be looking for some kind of way to make restitution. These things are real. So granted, it is unpopular with anyone in Congress to talk about Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, right? Those are unpopular things to bring up because old people vote and old people are the ones that are living on that. But if we don't restructure these things, if we don't do something about them, there will be a default.
I want to just quickly address one super chat from Robert Fulton. It said only 550,000 millionaires in the world and 250,000 are in the U.S., so we will not put a dent in the deficit. Incorrect, good sir. A cursory search shows 58 million millionaires in the world, 1.5% of the global adult population. And 2.8 million are ultra high net worth. 5.1 have an estimated wealth of 5 to 10 million. 28,000 people have wealth over 100 million. In the United States, there's 22 million millionaires. China has about 6 million. The UK has 3, France has 2.9, Japan has 2.8. Certainly, there are plenty of millionaires, and they all want to live here. Trump made a good point, too. He said they are going to come here. Ultra wealthy people want to live and have residency in the United States. Let's simplify it, make it cost some money, and bring them here. EB-5 is convoluted, and I think it's brilliant. Plus, it's so on brand for Trump. I hope when he issues them, you actually literally get a golden card with like Trump's wavy hair symbol on it and says like residency or something.
It should be solid gold too. Like none of this plated stuff. You have to be real careful with it too because it's soft. So.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.